Hola amigos y bienvenidos a otro día de español. Hey friends, welcome back to some more Spanish. Hoy quiero hablarte sobre el presente progresivo. I want to talk to you guys about the present progressive. And I just want to share a couple terms and give you an overview of what's going to happen before we go to the Growing Learning Spanish book and get a chance to practice some of this. So we want to first, when I teach this, think about what does the word present progressive even mean? I know a lot of these grammatical terms, sometimes they just sound like a bunch of jargon, and it's hard to really know what your teacher is even asking you to do. So when we see the word present progressive, what this means is that it's something that happens right now and that it's currently in progress. So at this point, usually students have only learned how to conjugate in the present, which is good. But right now, what we'll be able to do is to add the ending ing onto the word. And that's what the progressive means. So we're going to get a definition for present progressive, and that means verb that is taking place right now. Now, in order to do the present progressive in English or in Spanish, what you need is something called a gerund. In Spanish, we say un gerundio. And I always thought that word sounded really cool and like you're talking about something very complicated, but it actually is very simple. And it's something that very early Spanish speakers can do. So un gerundio, did I spell that wrong? I did. Un gerundio is a verb that is acting as a noun. And when we have a verb acting as a noun, what this means is that we've taken a verb, and we've added ing to the end. So the verb talk or to talk, we're now looking at it as talking. Or the word walk, we're thinking about it as walking. So this word talking and walking, it behaves the same way in a sentence that a noun would. And this is what a gerund is. So when we do this in Spanish, we're going to have this word ing. If we could translate just the suffix of a verb of a word, it could look two different ways in Spanish. What we will see is either ando or we will see iendo. Now, that may seem complicated, but I promise it's very easy to choose the right one. So here are some examples. Right here with the verb hablar, since it's an AR verb, we're going to choose the ending ando. So hablar, to talk, would be hablando, or talking. Mirar, to look, in the case of mirando, since it's an AR verb, mirando, this would be looking, and it can be used as watching as well. Notice that both of these ended in ando, ando. But here, where we have er, and I'm going to change this one from comer to vivir, we're going to see that we're going to need this iendo, iendo. We're going to need this one because it's either an er or ir verb. So this word to run, or run, it's going to become corriendo, which is running, and vivir, it will become viviendo, which is living. And I'm sorry, I left this as to eat. It should be to live. Sorry for the confusion there. All right, you all. So we're going to take what we've learned here. We're going to move it over to the Growing and Learning Spanish book and do a couple activities to help you guys practice. Here. So this basically explains what we were just talking about, how you want to use ando or iendo to try and change the verb. But one thing I didn't talk about here is when we're using these gerunds in English is that we need a form of to be. So it's not enough to just say talking. I have to say I am talking. You are talking. He or she is talking. So in order to do that, the first thing we have to do is conjugate the verb estar. Typically, we're not going to use ser, since ser are our personal characteristics. When you're using ser in this instance, you're being more poetic than grammatically accurate. So when we say estar before our gerund, we can change, if we wanted to say we are eating, We're going to conjugate estar for nosotros, and we get estamos. And we're going to take this word hablar. We're going to put our ando on the end to make it a gerund, and we get hablando. Here again, when we have ellos están comer, no, we want ellos están comiendo, comiendo. So again, this one would translate as we are talking, and this one would translate as they are eating. Let's practice this, and hopefully if you don't quite get it, you'll be able to see it make more sense. Here are the ones we want to use today, and it looks like I have one down here that isn't up here. That's escuchar, escuchar. Listening would be escuchar. So we're going to work with these here and hopefully see them in a couple of pictures as well. So hablar, if I want to make it a gerund, it's going to be hablando, mirar, mirando, crecer, creciendo. I have creciendo. It should be creciendo, like crescendo. Vivir is viviendo. So let's go ahead and try these here. We want to try and do y'all are not listening today. They are talking to their family. When are we singing tomorrow? I have another one there that's not up here. I'm sorry, you all. This is cantar, cantar. And are you studying Spanish Thursday? Estudiar, estudiar. So go ahead and pause it here. Try and write these down and see if you can do exactly what we've been practicing. And I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide that has the solutions. So either you're going to use vosotros and say estáis, o ustedes no están, and we want the verb escuchando. Well, I should say el gerundio escuchando hoy. No estáis escuchando hoy. They are talking to their family. Están hablando a su familia. Notice that we choose the they or ellos form of están. We have hablar as hablando, just like up here. When, I have where, yes, sorry, not when are we singing, but we're going to say where are we singing tomorrow. So, donde estamos cantando mañana is where we have estar. So when we do a question word, if you want to go back to my interrogativos video, we say that we choose our question word first, and then we choose our verb, and then we choose the subject if we need to. So, donde estamos cantando mañana follows that pattern exactly the way we practice it. Are you studying Spanish on Thursday? ¿Estás estudiando español el jueves? Notice how we chose ando for all of these because they all are AR verbs. Let's take a look at a couple of pictures and see if you guys can come up with the same sentences that I may be thinking of. I bet that you all will come up with something even better. So, estamos hablando aquí de dos chitas. Dos chitas. ¿Puedes usar un gerundio que sabes para explicar lo que pasa aquí? Can you use a gerund that you know to explain what's happening here? Well, what I see is las chitas están jugando. Maybe las chitas están peleando or luchando. I think pelear is a better word in this instance for to fight. Las chitas están bailando. Bailando. All right, guys, nice try here. Let's try the next one. Right here we have la planta. La planta, or quizás son las plantas. No sabemos. ¿Qué ves tú? So, what I see here, la planta está creciendo. Me parece que va a darme el tilde ya. No, todavía no sabe. We're going to do las plantas están viviendo. Did you guys think of something different? The plant is growing. The plants are living. Sí, están tomando el sol. All right, last one. Here we have las hojas. También tenemos el árbol. Quizás hablarás sobre el tiempo. So, some sentences that I usually see here are las hojas están volando. For some reason, my younger students usually know this word to fly better than the word to fall. So we have the leaves are flying. Las hojas están cambiando would be they are changing. We could say el árbol está durmiendo. The tree is sleeping. You guys, I really hope that this helps you out with your Spanish. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email or a comment. Adios.